moving to the next panel discussion, and we are going to take crisp 20 minutes for this panel discussion. The topic is translating data, unlocking possibilities with intelligent data infrastructure making. So primarily we are going to focus on the storage part of data management. And to lead the panel discussion, I will be joined by Mr. Vishal Jain, Head IT Infra and Security at Del Monte Foods. Vishal sir, if you could join us. Next, I'm joined by Mr. Harmeet Singh. Mr. Harmeet sir, if you sir, if you could join. Mr. Balvinder Singh Banga, if you could also join me. He's not. He's here. He's here. Sir. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Sapna KR, District Manager from NetApp. So, Ms. Sapna, I'll begin with you. This first action. You know what we are understanding and what we are realizing that the data has become a kind of new currency, and we say the DY, and that is given. If you look at the AI part, it's completely based on data, how good your data is, how structured your data is, and even for the enterprise, it becomes really, really important. So, how can enterprise ensure that their storage infrastructure is not just scalable but also intelligent and adaptive for the modern workload that somebody or some CR is looking to build? If you could share some perspective of yours, and then we'll build on that. Sure.
Thank you for this question. And I think we've been interacting with a lot of CIOs from last evening. Right, and also what we're hearing is data is the very important. Data is the crown jewel for an organization. We are also hearing that data is very scattered in different locations. Right? How do you manage the data? How do you secure the data? And then how do you kind of intelligently use the data for business? Right? Now, I think NetApp in the last 30 years have been doing exactly the same. Data management is what we've been doing. And I think I'll probably point out top 4 or 5 points, right, what we've been doing. I think one is, data silos is what we've kind of come across many circumstances. And that is what we've kind of eliminated. And what comes with data silos is, what comes with eliminating data silos is, we can kind of look at building more efficiency, building more agile networks, right? So that is what we are trying to do with our unified platform. Second, I think the seamless integration between your on-prem, your cloud, your hybrid multi-cloud. Now, how do we do this, right? So an operating system, which is ONTAP, which is available both across on-prem and the cloud as well. So the seamless movement between these two can also be done with one operating system. And I think we're proud to say this, we are the only vendor which is available in all the 3 hyperscalers, Azure, Google, and GCP. And it's like the first party services for them. That means they sell that product, they manage it, and they support that product as well. The other, I think, feather to our crown is that something called as ARP. And I think most of you all are talking about the security part of it. And sometimes we leave the data storage part of it away from it, right? So something called as ARP is something that we've built. This is autonomous ransomware protection. And this helps automatically to kind of at least say 99% of the threats or the data will be protected from the threats. That is what we say. And recently, I think from last year, we've kind of even launched something called as autonomous ransomware guarantee programs. That basically means that we are kind of assuring you that your data, even if there's a loss, we come and repay back the money to you, right? That's the kind of guarantee programs we're running. Then we also know that customers want to start small. It is not like they want to, all are big, large enterprises. They are smaller enterprises as well. They want to probably invest in the beginning very little, and they want to kind of scale towards when they are growing. So that is also something we see scale in, scale up, scale out architectures that we've built. So that also helps customers or organizations to grow without any changing or without any disruption there. So I think these are a few things that we've kind of adopted, knowing and talking to different sorts of customers in different industries. And I think it's very important that we'll have to scale intelligently, and that is what we are also trying to do in our innovation.
Absolutely. Just building on what she said, that data integration is really important, and every tech leader would like to have. But there is a challenge also to that. You have a lot of system which is siloed. Your data will be in a scattered manner altogether. So if I have to ask in a very generic sense, for a legacy organization, and that kind of challenge even the startup faces if they do not have the right set of tech architecture in place, and they start actually pushing on a smaller application and then think of building on that. What are some of the challenges that you see from an integration perspective for any organization? And especially in the age of AI, wherein you like to have your data, robust data, so that at least you should be able to somehow utilize some LLM model somewhere at least for your own benefit.
So I will go very generic, and the real-time example. Even if I talk about, in last 1.5 year with I'm working for the VTrans, which is the logistics company, and it's a 70-year-old company. So you understand when we talk about a 70-year-old company and third generation is running that company, and when CMD is of second generation, probably it is very difficult to change their mindset.
Right.
Because they still believe that we do much better work on our register. ये डब्बा लगा के कोई benefit नहीं है, for anything and everything. Though they are spending a good amount of money in IT. If we propose something, they try to understand. He never said that कि मुझे समझ आ गया. And then finally कहते हैं खर्चा क्या? Then बताते हैं कि it will cost you approximately 2 CR per annum. ठीक है? It is okay. ROI 2 CR के ऊपर 1 रुपया मुझे कब देगा? So I need that date. So मुझे उसके according plan करना पड़ता है related to what my data is. So in this industry, in the logistic industry, we have so much unorganized data, as well as organized data, as well as structured and unstructured data. So when I say if we classify all that कि हमें क्या data चाहिए, we are not talking about only database में जो transactions हो रही है, क्या मैं वही data की बात कर रहा हूँ? I called it as a unorganized because उसको लेके without application read करना या without SQL statements read करना is very difficult. No one will understand that. At least user will not understand that. Now system से related जब हम बात करेंगे तो what we have done is on the latest side of it, we know that we have so many contracts available with the vendor, with the franchisees, with the entire organization, or with the customers contracts, and there are so many contracts are available, which is lying somewhere in some of the machines. अब वो किसकी machines हैं? Those responsible HODs or those responsible persons. But if someone leaves today, where is that documentation available? Even no one knows all about it. वो कहाँ है नहीं पता, वो उनकी machine पे है. So what we have done, we have structured all that in last 6-7 months. हम उसको एक structured DMS पे लेकर आए, in which we have started migrated that the entire organization data, bringing it online. हम लोगों ने उनको लाके उसे structured किया, उसके ऊपर compliances build किए. आज की डेट में, if I want to understand, let's take one example, कि my franchisee requires these 10 documents. If he has to register us with a franchisee as a, my TMS is exactly telling me कि what documents are missing. उसने कौन सा नहीं दिया, उसकी franchises अभी भी चल रही है. This is I'm just telling you, just thought of that scenario, that how we are maintaining it now. And this entire dashboard will start visible to the management. They start liking it. So हमने उनको ये लगा कि यार this is something very good, because we never thought of this कि आज मुझे ये भी पता है where are my documentation like. So structuring it is very very important. वो वहां तक लाने के लिए, मतलब अभी तो प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है, it's in running stage because there are so many departments we have to migrate. But मुझे उस स्टेज तक लाने के लिए I took approximately 8 months to understand each department, to bring the alignment, to ensure, because जिसके हाथ से जा रहा था उसको लग रहा था कि मेरी तो पूछी गई कंपनी में. They are there in this company for more than 20 years, 17 years, 15 years managing the same role. But आज उनकी they being recognized for that work only, और उनको पता है मेरे से पूछे बिना तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं. Now no one requires their support at all. No one even goes to them. They goes just check it out. Because the system what we have bought, it's AI based. उनको कुछ search करना है, contract search करना है, कुछ search करना है, immediately that's available in front of all. Assigned or जिनका हमने like accessed user who has given the access to it. So this is one way of doing it. When we talk about the structured data which is unstructuredly found in any of the organization. I'm not sure कि you may have over similar trouble as well. Then उसके बाद next आता है about on our database size, the movements and all that, which is now getting very huge. We had to have a MongoDB also. Now in a MongoDB, that's because we cannot keep it on any standard database. It requires a huge data because we are tracking a movement every second. GPS data is coming to us. उस data को maintain करना, if 10,000 vehicles are running 24/7, it's not very easy. That data size is very big. As a compliance, on a compliance side, we have to keep it for about 5 years and 6 years. And the manageability for that is also next level of challenge. उनको maintain करना, उसके लिए we have taken a cloud services and वहाँ पे migrate करा. Then from there we have migrated to the S3 जिसका हमें use नहीं है. Let's after 3 months move from this place to this place. So entire planning has been done. So challenges को cut down करने के लिए we have to reach to this level. And even this doesn't end here because हमारी movement जो होती है, it is with the warehouses and हमारे hubs होते हैं, warehouses होते हैं, and there is always a dealing with the customers happen, and वो किसी दिन भी demand करता है, I need a video of this. So each warehouse, if I'm talking about of a 50,000 square feet minimum, वहाँ पे भी मेरे पास 23 cameras हैं, और उन 23 cameras का data somehow we are storing it in a managed form कि इतना data minimum यहाँ रहेगा. Then AI enabled data, कोई बॉक्स पे बैठ गया, किसी से गिर गया, तो टूट गया, या कुछ ऐसे movements हुए which automatically get moved on the cloud also. That's a AI based systems we have already taken.
You are transferring from your bureau to your corporate office.
नहीं हमारी क्लाउड सर्विसेज पे we are not having a क्या हुआ हम लोगों ने we have not taken this thing at over in-house. पहले क्या होता था, we have our camera enabled boxes, सारे वहीं रहते थे. Yes, and no, एक problem हुआ था Vivanti में, you remember there was a few months back. Sorry,
सोचता क्या हुआ कि मोनोपोली आपने खत्म कर
वो मेरी नौकरी खतरे में है. इसमें हम लोग बाद में बात करेंगे बिकॉज अभी 2 डिपार्टमेंट को मैंने और पकड़ा हुआ है. डेली एमडी के पास एक कंप्लेंट जाता है मेरे नाम पे, कोशिश किया जाता है भाई यहाँ से निकले तो अच्छा है. So that's a different, but I tell you what, Vivanti में if you Google it out, तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा कि few months back कुछ वेयर हाउसेज में आग लगा था. एक वेयर हाउस उसमें हमारा था, तो and there was a huge loss of approximately 60 CR. पूरा का पूरा खत्म, मतलब मटेरियल, बिकॉज उसमें वॉल्वो लिंक का मटेरियल था, which is ऑयल है, सब कुछ है. इट्स जस्ट लाइक अ डेंजर गुड. कहीं से स्पार्क हुआ. This is still have not yet identified. It's almost 4-5 months back. It is not yet identified कि आग लगा कैसे. उसे हमारा वेयर हाउस तो जला दिया, साथ के 4 और 7 वाले जला दिए. So, but वो कैसे हुआ, क्या हुआ, the story is still story. We are still fighting for the insurance company to get that money. This is not something over there to discuss. But point here, we do not have the at that time AI enabled videos जिसपे alarm sets होते. We could able to understand कि ये fire हुआ है, immediately वो data हमारे पास आता, because हमारे जो DVR से and everything got burned over there also. हमारे पास कुछ material ही नहीं था to verify कहाँ से मिला. So this gives us our management here. करो भाई साहब कुछ इसमें भी करो. We are still working on this. Not yet all the warehouses migrated, but critical ones we have already migrated. So these are the areas and important challenges what we faced, and after that we have to thought that what exactly we have to bring some system in line so that such arrangements and such things would be.
Should I? Absolutely. Thank you for your detailed response. Now, since we are focusing on the data management and sir, I spoke about the AI part. So, if I have to ask you something from a perspective of the next generation data management infrastructure, what kind of emerging technologies that you see which can have a far-reaching impact as to how we are managing our data right now? When obviously heterogeneities are there in terms of the workload and kind of database you would be having in an IT environment. We will see some new level of technology coming up which can actually ease out some of the pressure on CIOs and such.
So basically, I think so. Government has been really, pushing a lot of companies for doing that. And I think so. Due to this DPDP, at least the BFSI, there are some push which are required from the government side. Very like Mr. Pangaji said, every time you go to the board, and you show yourself at a cost center doesn't make sense, and something which automatically gets pushed from the government, then it becomes a mandatory for the for the board to implement it, because this is not because the data what they have with them, and not just the data of their own company, but they also have a data of other users who are there. Like same way, there are 50% of many other industries who are still not under the regulation. So like if I say about media, we don't have any kind of a regulation other than what kind of a video we show on a broadcast. That is the thing. So that kind of regulation don't come to us in that part. Same way, I think so. Logistics also doesn't come under regulation. Right? So it makes a challenges for them to go back and make them understand. So like he very much explained, maybe they would have the AI kind of a data, and it would have helped them to identify. You better do it proactive than the reactive. So what they are doing right now is reactive, and maybe the intelligence would have implemented earlier might be a proactive. So I would say data. Everybody knows out here is data is a new oil, right? But what kind of data, which sector of data, that all matters a difference. So classification today, it's not an easy job for a one person to do a classification or one department to do a classification. Today you start classification sitting with the legal department. Okay, this is the 10 type of legal documents which needs to be managed. Maybe tomorrow when you expand your businesses, there are 10 more things which gets added, which at first level of discussion they will speak to you, and after when you grow, they might not inform you about that 10 more kind of data getting implemented. So this is kind of a continuous journey with interdepartment, where everybody needs to talk to the departments and get a new update from every single new data which is coming. Today, to implement DPDP, I would do a classification, right? There are new features coming up, new products are coming up, that time you might forget to implement, do a classification, because that time the pressure is of implementing the feature and implementing the product, and that time this all things are kept in the sideline, and once it has been kept sideline, it remains silent till there is no impact which is happening to that particular job. So classification, yes, everybody has been doing, but classification is a very small word, but it is a deep thought which has to be put at. And today, with the AI, lots of new product which has come up, which are helping to classify that particular thing. But there are very gray areas, where AI is also not able to understand. So it requires a time, to make it learn, what kind of data, needs to be in which classification should come. So it's not an easy job, and it's not an easy job for a human or not for the AI to do the right.
Okay. So Vishal sir, I'll come to you, and we also understand the fact that the data and most of the organization are there, and there are critical sets of data. Majority of companies would have to give us a hair, wherein your data is completely sitting idle doing nothing. And the board and the management expectation is always as to how do you monetize, how do you bring certain value to that. As such, since they would not have problem in terms of approvals, budget of IT project, but they would obviously have some expectation in their mind. I'm going to do, I'm going to get maybe 1 rupee, 10 rupees, or some revenue out of that, and maybe some tangible or intangible benefit out of that. Could you share, especially your experience in terms of monetizing the data from a different perspective altogether, wherein you have huge size of data, how do you do that? I mean, how do you look at creating a business value for an organization from a data infrastructure perspective?
Thank you. I think Sapna and Prasad have already covered a lot of things. Adding to their perspective, since you are a FMCG company, couple of things. Data analytics is very much required. How the business is going, how the competitors are going on, how the new product can be launched, which place, which city, which kind of a taste, and the list is long. So historical data plays a very big role. You talk about DR and stuff, and also we also realized few years back we activated our DR so that the primary data should have a active copy all the time. That is number one, and we ensure that we have DR drills also to quantify the kind of DR is going on, how it going to manage, whether at the kind of time of disaster or so we have to invoke the DR and so. In terms of managing the data, we are creating the data lake, which will, because there are multiple data is in single cycles in SAP form, in TMS form, in other application form. To get the meaningful outcome of that, we are in a process of implementing analytics on top of it, so that we'll get more meaningful data outputs, which actually relatively help us from the organization perspective to take the leap forward and take the right decision, how to go about it, how to change the things, the performance of the sales team, the overall business aspects.
Thank you so much. I think we are just moving toward the 20-minute time we have. So we still have 5 minutes, and I'll continue. You will have the first word and the last word. So the one technical question I asked Seth, I'm trying to ask you the same thing. We do see there are a lot of innovation happening in database management. The infrastructure for the data that we are managing, both at the level of the kind of data that we would have, whether we want to have, they got on you, what if you have and other things. As a technologist, I would like to understand from you what next emerging technology that you see will have the far-reaching impact on the way we are managing the data infrastructure right now. Let's say down the line 3-4 years, that was how things are changing, and the data was management, data in itself is changing now.
Yeah, and thanks for giving me the last word. Okay, see, I think all of you have told this, right? And I think that is a reality. I mean, any kind of transformation journey that companies, organizations are taking, I think data plays a very critical role, right? It could be any kind of AI play, it could be any other transformation journey. And so what happens is, see, there are, I think, at least my perspective, I would say 4 important points. One, if you heard everyone saying business outcomes, ROIs, right? You buy anything you want, but what is your ROI after that, right? Like, what is your value or what is your dollar money that's going to come out of it? So that's very important. Analytical, right? He mentioned about analysis on if you do this, what is going to help? Is it a process? Is it a set of people? What is going to help, right? So these are a couple of things that we are also keeping in mind. I think anywhere if you build the future kind of a data infrastructure kind of a company, I think one is very important is your AI part of it, your analytical part of it. So these are very key and important points that you need to keep. How much can you automate? How much can you not have interventions in between? How much can you have manageability? So he was referring to a dashboard where you can show your senior ups and say that, okay, this is the benefit statement, this is the value statement, and this is what we are optimized in terms of cost. So if you can show all of this, then your infra is, I think, in the right direction, I would say. Then I think the other thing that is catching up is your sustainability. If not, you want to do it, even your customers are coming back and asking you, how sustainable are you? How efficient is your data center? What kind of footprints of carbon are you saving? How much energy cost are you saving? I think even in RFP designs, I see this is not just a checkmark activity. It is kind of inbuilt in that, right? Your customers might be coming back and asking. And the other thing is, I think applications that is getting developed these days are very demanding, very, very heavy in terms of performance. And if any organization, it's just not 20 or 30 or 40, there are so many applications that is getting developed. Now, how do you manage such kind of heavy duty applications? That is also something that you need to keep in mind. The other is, I think the last point that I say is your infra has to be open standards where you can kind of work with all the other players. I mean, these days, NVIDIA, if you see the news of NVIDIA, you've seen how VMware, Broadcom acquisition, I don't know how much people are affected or is it positive or how it's working for you all. But a lot of our customers are coming back and looking for alternatives for it. So those are, those are open standard that is expected in data infra that we need to build. So I think these are set of 4 things that you keep in mind as CIOs. I think that is where I think we will build a robust infra. Yes, definitely, like you said, it's not an easy task. There's multiple players, multiple OEMs that have to play with you to kind of build this up. One thing I can probably assure you from an NAM side is this is what we are also focusing. We know that this is the top of the mind for CIOs. From a data storage standpoint, that is what we are also thinking and we are also innovating. So reach out to us if you need to have more discussions on this.
Thank you so much. On that note, we'll end this panel discussion. Thank you so much to all of you for being such a wonderful panelists. And the QR code, Atul will be sharing the QR code for this session. So kindly mark it. Next session we have here for 10 minutes with control test. So please be here 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you. And thank you so much for all of you for this.